All right, so right before the main event, Edson Barboza versus Justin Gaethje, I sent out a tweet, and in that tweet, I talked about how I was really nervous that Edson Barboza would make the same exact mistakes he has always made against pressure fighters. I'm done watching the fight, and he made every single mistake he has always made against pressure fighters. I don't get it. As an Edson Barboza fan who knows that he has the ability to beat these guys, I simply don't get it. This is not an issue of skill. It's not a question of, does he have the skill to beat them? He does. He does have the skill to beat them. It's a matter of tactic, IQ, approach. And time again, he comes into these fights with the same exact tactic, the wrong one. It's insane to me. Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result miraculously is the definition of insanity, and that's what this fight was to me. So the fight starts off, and Justin Gaethje uncharacteristically wasn't exactly pressuring right off the bat. Now, he did act first, and he was the very first fighter to fire off a shot, specifically a leg kick, but he didn't have that classic aggressive posture that he usually has. In the span of a few seconds, he landed another leg kick after already throwing one, which shockingly to me, Edson Barboza didn't check at all. And then Justin Gaethje was able to land a third one, which again, Edson Barboza didn't check. So right away, immediately, you can clearly see that Edson Barboza's defense was not where it needed to be at all for this fight. Against one of the absolute best pressure fighters he will ever face, his defense was lacking already. And you came into this fight knowing that Justin was going to throw leg kicks, and you let him land 3 in a matter of seconds. It wasn't even like the leg kicks were set up with punches or thrown exceptionally fast. It was just straight up naked leg kicks from his stance, unchecked by Edson Barboza, who was supposed to be a master when it comes to leg kicks. Now, Edson Barboza, granted, did return a few leg kicks of his own, and for the first few seconds of the first round, they just threw leg kicks at each other. And at one point, Edson Barboza threw and landed a beautiful roundhouse kick to the head, then followed up with a lead hook to the body, and I was like, oh my god, yes, he's starting to get it. He's gonna work the body, and focus most of his punches to the body, but then I lost all hope. I lost all hope when Justin Gaethje was able to get him in a single collar clinch, and that's where you truly get to see how poor Edson's defense was for this fight. I have no idea what happened, but I have never seen his defense this poor. He gets caught with 3 punches from the clinch, which hurts him, and in the classic stiff Muay Thai style kickboxer who was stuck against the cage, rather than use head movement to try and avoid the shots or to crash in and mitigate that damage, he stands with his back against the cage, winging shots back at Justin Gaethje. It reminded me of Renan Barão versus TJ Dillashaw all over again, the second fight. Remember when TJ Dillashaw hurt Renan Barão, and Barão just stood there with his back against the cage, winging shots back while getting blasted from all over the place? That's exactly what this reminded me of. And man, that was hard to watch. Now, at this point in the fight, there was still like 4 minutes left in the round, and Edson Barboza had already been hurt twice by Justin Gaethje. And now he's stuck against the cage as Justin finally uses some of his grappling to hold him there and wear him out a little bit. Like, people did say that Justin might implement some grappling. I really didn't think he would do it because he is so in love with that gritty style of pressure fighting, but he did. He did something really smart. At that point, held Edson against the cage and just wore him out a little bit. On the break, as they were breaking, it was very clear that Justin and his corner saw the same thing that we have all seen when it comes to Edson Barboza. When he is exiting or trying to circle back to the center, whether it's from the clinch or whatever, anytime Edson Barboza is doing any kind of circling or any kind of exiting, he always does it with his hands down. This is exactly how he got knocked out by Jamie Werner, backing up with his hands down completely. And on the break in this fight from the clinch, you saw Justin Gaethje. This was the first time on the break you saw Justin throw a left hook from hell, which just barely misses. and they're back to fighting from the center. But right there, I was like, oh my God, Edson, please keep your hands up when you exit. This is not a man you want to do this with. They're back to the center, kickboxing. And from here, Edson Barboza actually started to do the right thing against a pressure fighter, which is single shots, consistent, high variance, which means you don't throw combinations, because when you do that, combinations gives them a chance to counter. I mean, like, you do throw combos here and there, but mostly you do not focus on combinations. Instead, you throw single shots. But the important thing is that you throw those single shots often. You're offbeat. You throw the single shots over and over and over again, and you don't leave a lot of space in between. You see this from Jon Jones. He hits you with the oblique. He goes for the teep. You try to move forward. He throws one more oblique, then a front leg side kick. And each time, what this does is it prevents the pressure fighter from actually getting going. For a pressure fighter to get going, they got to close that distance, get into boxing range, and then initiate their pressure. You have to put a wall between yourself and the pressure fighter. Every time they try to take a step forward, you have to meet them with something. You got to meet them with a single shot. Whether it's a leg kick, a body kick, a teep to the head, a teep to the body, you gotta meet them with something. And Edson was doing this. He started to do this. He went for a leg kick. Then he went for a roundhouse. Then he feinted a lead body hook. I really enjoyed the feint. He feinted a right cross, and each time, every single time he did that, you saw Justin Gaethje was not coming forward. Go back and watch it. Every single time Edson would attack him as he's coming in, you see Justin freezing, even backing up. And I was like, keep going, bro. Keep going. You don't have to throw power. It doesn't have to be power shots. Just touch him on the way in. Annoy him with it. You'll hear Jon Jones' opponents tell you, it's not necessarily hard. Like, you heard Anthony Smith say that in an interview after the Jon Jones fight. He'll tell you, yeah, when Jon Jones was hitting me as I was coming in, like, these shots were not necessarily hard or really painful, but they were frequent, and it kept interrupting me. Every time I try to get going, I get hit with something. And Edson started to do that. But then he stopped doing it. He stopped doing it, and when he stopped throwing, Justin Gaethje casually walked his way into boxing range with zero punishment, forced Edson Barboza into another exchange. Now, when it comes to Justin, the brilliant thing that he was doing was he would charge in, but not actually throw anything. He approached this fight in a very tactical way. I know a lot of times they see Justin Gaethje and he looks like he's just a madman with all pressure, but he actually has some intelligence with the way he approaches pressure. He would just give Edson Barboza the illusion of pressure, cover his head, move in, and then Edson will think that they're about to get into this huge exchange, and Edson will start throwing like 4 shots to the head, which of course, in the classic Justin Gaethje way, he blocks as he keeps his block really tight, rolls with all the punches, and guess what you just did? You just wasted stamina, throwing shots and hitting nothing. Then he'll come right back in and do it again. He did this twice, and each time Edson Barboza was just standing there, swinging at air, missing, and looking so bad while doing it. The type of pressure that Justin Gaethje used for this fight was tactical as hell. And a majority of the time, he wasn't even really throwing. He was just giving the illusion, he was bluffing, giving him the illusion of pressure and forcing Edson to overreact with every little charge. With about 2 minutes left in the round, Justin again charges in, forces Edson Barboza back, clinches up, waits for him to exit and circle back with his hands down, Jesus, like he knew he was going to do, and Justin Gaethje lunged into a right hook and knocks out Edson Barboza cold. I couldn't believe how much I could believe it. It was exactly what I thought was going to happen. Right before the fight, I was sitting there nervous as hell, like, oh my God, Edson Barboza is going to make the same exact mistakes he makes every single time. It's almost like the man is not coachable when it comes to dealing with pressure. I don't get it. This fight was a clinic in how not to deal with a pressure fighter. A straight up clinic. Now, I know I'm not a fighter, so why the heck would you care about what I have to say about how to fight a pressure fighter? But if you won't take my word for it, go watch John Jones. And this time, don't watch it like you're watching a regular fight. Watch it for educational purposes. See what he is doing and see exactly what I'm trying to tell you guys here. It's about slowing the fight down, freezing the pressure fighter, punishing him before he even throws the strike by constantly tagging him with single shots and high variance. Being tight with your defense in the clinch and moving your head, or at least keeping your hands up when you exit the clinch. And when you're stuck against the cage for whatever reason, either use head movement to crash in, that's engage in a clinch and mitigate the damage from the strikes, or use your head movement to evade and then get the hell out of there. Don't stand there with your back against the cage swinging back at the opponent. That's insanity. Edson Barboza did not do any of that. And because of his lack of good outside fighting tactics, no, I didn't say skill. I'm pretty sure he has the skill. The skill is there. He is a Muay Thai kickboxer, okay? Edson Barboza knows how to kickbox. He has the skill, but he lacks the tactic because it just doesn't seem like they game plan for this stuff. Because of his lack of good outside fighting tactics, he could not make it out of the first round against Justin Gaethje, and boy was that disappointing to witness. As for Justin Gaethje, he fought a perfect fight. Tactical pressure, great footwork cutting off the cage, using the clinch to draw out the weakness in Edson Barboza's defense, and being able to take advantage of that weakness excellently to get the KO. Anyone that's going to fight this man is going to need to come in there with the right tactic. It's not a battle of who can be the most violent man in there. It's a battle of tactic. And you need to be a good technician to be able to deal with pressure. Even more when you're dealing with the type of pressure that Justin Gaethje showed today. A tactical type of pressure. It cannot be stressed enough. But man, anyways, congratulations to Justin Gaethje on a very, very well fought fight, and also on his biggest win, and also for leaving this fight without taking a lot of damage. I'm very impressed with his win, and I wish him best. I wish him the best in his future fights. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about the fight. I'm pretty sure a lot of you, a lot of you might have the same opinions that I do, but I'm kind of curious to see if anyone disagrees. Let me know in the comment section, and I will see you guys later. Stay safe.